Now, Kyle Dubas was ready for his press conference, and I actually think it's apt that you mentioned that because this team felt like magic against Washington, and they felt like a team on the up. Everybody was excited. Then as Toronto fans, we got a little annoying, and then a lot annoying, and then literally hated by everybody again, which is, our rightful place in the league, and that's fair. But Kyle Dubas had a press conference yesterday where he talked about the team, and it's very funny to see the reactions to Kyle Dubas when he says things like this, because the reactions are almost the same. And he says almost the same thing after every single season. So here's the quote, and this is from Chris Johnston, our boy. Basically, the Leafs are doubling down. For better or worse, I believe in this group. And I believe they're going to get it done, and I believe they're going to win. I understand that comes with a certain amount of doubt because of the fact that we may not have broken through in the playoffs, but it's my belief that they will. I believe in them as players. I believe in them as people. And I know that that decision lies on me and what risk that is for me. We're going ahead that way. So I'm comfortable with it. I believe we're going to see the best version of this group next season that we've seen yet. And I'm willing to bet everything on them.
And he is. And I got to say, I respect it. At very least, I respect it.
I find that laughable. He said the exact same thing against Columbus last year. If they don't succeed, the fault lies with me. I believe in this group. And then the season before, when they lost Game 7 in an atrocious coaching job by Mike Babcock, I believe in this group, and their failure rests with me, remember? And at that time, both times we said, you know what, really respect that. Really respect him taking responsibility. And the more I look at it, and I do respect it, I respect the fact that he's doing his job because that is literally his job.
Yeah.
You have acquired a bunch of players and signed a bunch of players and you don't believe in them, then you haven't done your job. So literally, we're giving Kyle Dubas praise for literally what's in his job description right now.
There's nuance.
Okay, so
when he said it last year, I thought the nuance was I didn't make a good enough team. This year, it feels like I think I've made a good enough team, and I'm willing to bet they are.
Which, okay, fair. Give him that. And to be fair to him, the talent's there. Unquestionably.
We all thought they were going to beat Montreal. Every one of us. Every person on Sportsnet, including Eric Engels, who covers the Habs. He gave the Habs 7 games. Good for him.
He was right.
Well, in part. He said the Leafs would win. Mm-hmm. In 7 games. And part of me saw that and I went, that's fair. It can't be easy, so it's got to go to 7. And, I don't want to have the same damn conversation. Oh, if Tavares isn't, well, he wasn't. Every year it's going to be someone.
Mm-hmm.
Foligno. What if Foligno? It wasn't there. Every year it's someone. They all got a punctured lung or a broken foot or a hurt. I don't know. Everything. Okay, they didn't do it.
Well, and that's my point here is what exactly, when he says, I believe in this group, my first question is why? I know the talent's there, but why? Beyond the talent, why?
Why?
And I think that's a relevant question. Why? And I want to know, the next time someone gets him in front of a podium, which is 4 times a year, please follow it up and say, why do you believe? We know that you believe. You acquired them. You signed them. You protected Kerfoot. Why do you believe?
The most annoying thing with Kerfoot, so I was looking at my video I made a few weeks ago where I made next year's Leafs out of guys under contract because there are some edits I have to make to that team. Spezza was a UFA, so I had to add him. Simmons was a UFA, so I had to add him. And Kerfoot I have to add to that team because at the time I was like, well, they're losing him.
Right.
They're losing Kerfoot. What's amazing is the defense stays the exact same and Campbell's still there. Mm-hmm. That's a victory.
Mm-hmm.
But then I add Kerfoot back to that lineup. I don't think they should put him at center. I don't, because their hole on left wing is so gaping. It's unbelievable. It's really bad. I think they're going to go out and sign a third line center this summer, but it all comes back to the damn Stars have to compete, and the damn Stars have to score and win for God's sake. And nothing Kyle Dubas does can give us an answer to that before the playoffs. And that's going to be the most frustrating thing about the next, what do we got? 9 months?
Yeah. Season starts in mid-October, 10 weeks from now. And I wondered about that because, Steve, the same thing. I feel the same way. Talent's there. I get why you believe in the talent. Tell me why you believe in the team. Tell me why you believe in this group together. It's easy to see why Matthews is great. It's easy to see why Marner is great, why Tavares is a great leader, why Morgan Riley bleeds blue and white, why Jack Campbell was a good surprise, and Jake Muzzin's tough and sturdy. I get all that. I totally get it. Totally. Tell me why you believe in this group together. Because with the exception of Jake Muzzin and Jack Campbell, they've been together for the past 5 seasons.
Can I join you?
And I guess
on
1 year
something?
without Tavares.
I want to join you on something. Because you're talking about, can the Leafs win with Morgan Riley, and perhaps they should trade Morgan Riley?
Just his fucking core. I'm just not sure.
No, but you've brought up Morgan Riley many times. I'm here to say I have no interest in doing this all year. None. So either trade him now or extend him. Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with that. I would. I've doing this all year again. Oh, please no. Please God no.
Well, they're going to, because they're going to keep him.
Oh, I know.
We now know. We have the answer. And they're going to let him walk next year. Because what'll happen? Okay,
so you're keeping him?
You're keeping him and you're letting him walk at the...
actually keep him? No.
That's what they're going to do.
No! Extend the guy.
Look at the names that have walked out the door here. Look at the names.
It's miserable, man.
For nothing. For nothing. And this is, people think I'm crazy. And it's like, no. Trade these guys a season before their contract's up if you're not going to keep them. Trade them.
Do you all see how I've really the past 2 shows been really trying? You're asking me. I don't know.
All right. Well, listen, I think you've made a good point in the past, Steve, which is this. You ready for this?
What?
I think it was against the Columbus Blue Jackets. You were like, how can you guys disrespect Kyle Dubas like this after he went to bat for you?
Oh,
you said that. And it's because he went to bat and got them the money they all wanted, and then they didn't show up. And now they've done it again. And so people are like, where's your skepticism coming from? It's that most of these guys have been here the whole time.
And Jake Beliefs had a tweet, and I couldn't believe it when I read it. And I couldn't believe that it was true. The Leafs have either been leading a series or an elimination game in every year of the Matthews era, except for 2020 against Columbus. 2017, they were up 2-1.
Yep.
On the Caps. 2018, they were leading Game 7 against the Bruins heading into the third. 2019, they were up 3-2 over Boston and had a chance to close them at home. Columbus fart. And then 2021, I don't even want to get into it.
Right.
It's
listen, you've asked me to reserve judgment. Steve, you're right on that. It's terrifying and it's making me sick. I want to be wrong, but I think I'm allowed to be skeptical now. I think I'm well within my rights to be skeptical. I know there's a ton of Leaf fans who believe the same thing, and I want to be wrong. I want to be fucking dunked on next April. Like, just crush my mentions if they go through and they win. I'm ready. Bring it. Because I'm going to be thrilled. But I don't believe it yet.
Here's what I think might be giving you subconscious anxiety, and a lot of people in this fan base subconscious anxiety. The idea of running it back. They literally cannot do that. They can't. We began last season with Frederik Andersen as the starting goalie. We already know that's not happening, right? Jack Campbell is still there. Who's the other goalie going to be? That's an enormous question.
Big question.
Right? And I can't evaluate next team without knowing that. We don't know who the third line center is going to be. We don't know what position Kerfoot is going to play. Like that is a fairly large thing. And the the hole on left wing is so big, even if you slot Kerfoot in there, that I think they can't possibly not address it, unless it's trade or free agency. Right. So we look at this team as they're running it back with a shittier team. And I just don't think that's what's going to happen. We're going to find out there's going to be movement tonight. There's going to be movement the next night. The next day, I should say. And free agency, I think, is going to be big for them. Who do they keep? Who's the name keeps coming up? Holla? Is
Eric
it Holla
for the Leafs?
Yeah.
Wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, they almost got it done last year. Like, wouldn't hate that. It's impossible for me. I'm looking at last year's group and in anger and applying it to next year's, and that's not what I should be doing because next year's team is too incomplete.
Okay, and that's fair. Maybe that's what I'm doing too. It was the problem with this year's team is the parts that were the problem in the playoffs are going to be the parts that are here in October.
If they re-sign Thornton, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, holy shit.
What's up, Jesse?
I'm really excited for this coming season for the reasons that Kyle Dubas explained in that press conference, because when he said he believes in this team and he's going to go out next year and show everyone that he believes in it and double down on everything he's built here, we got a handshake agreement from Kyle Dubas that if this doesn't work out at the end of this season, that's it. That's
it for him.
That's it for him. So there's this agreement with the fans and us who criticize management and within the organization that if it doesn't work out this time, this is your last shot. You're done. Or something else is going to happen, and that's exciting because then there's a go for it factor with Kyle Dubas. In 2015, Alex Anthopoulos was GM of the Toronto Blue Jays. At the beginning of the season, he was offered a 5-year extension by Blue Jays management, and he rejected it. So he was going into his last year as general manager. That was on paper. But Kyle Dubas is doing this hypothetically in that we all know at the end of this, if it doesn't work out, he's probably fired. And in that midseason, the Jays were 500. And at that point, Alex Anthopoulos said, I have 6 months left at this job. I better damn win or I can't be the GM of the Toronto Blue Jays anymore. And he went out and he required Troy Tulowitzki at the deadline. You got David Price. You got
Ben Revere.
Ben Revere was sick.
And he sold the farm for guys who are going to win that season. And what did the Jays do? They went on to have one of the best second halves ever and charge into the playoffs and almost make the World Series. So we're going to get to a point in this season where Kyle Dubas is going to say, okay, I better get to the second round here. And the bar is so low for the Leafs, it's embarrassing.
Round.
But
they've taken a step.
He's going to sit there at the end at whatever it is, the trade deadline, evaluate the team at going into the playoffs and say, okay, I better win here or I'm done as GM of the Leafs. And that's exciting to me. That's fun.
That is fun.
This is going to be an exciting season because we know the Leafs have to do it. That's awesome.
Do the Leafs know the Leafs have to do it, Jesse?
I think they do.
Do the players know?
100%.
What's at stake for them? They got their money.
Exactly. Right. That's the part where I'm like,
yeah. In terms of everything will be in place for them to know that they have to do it. Like Kyle Dubas is going to put everything around them so that they know they have to do it. And I think they know to an extent because there's so much chatter in the media in this market that you have to perform here.
I'm just imagining Kyle Dubas in the GM box just crossing his fingers so fucking hard. Like, God, I hope you guys care.
Go get David Price.
I don't think that's how he lives his life. I don't think that's how Dubas lives his life. I think he's a far more zen person. The Chinese farmer thing that he tweeted when Muzzin got hurt right before the shutdown thing really sticks with me. I'm like, oh, so that's just who this guy is. Like legit. Like, oh, that's wonderful. Maybe.
It's great. We got
look it up on YouTube. But
we got to win something though.
There's also I will say this. So the standard here is just win a series. I think a chunk of the fan base would be finally. Yeah. But I'm so grateful in my gig that I get to cover the playoffs every year because and this is why I'm like so stuck on Carolina. If you heard that earlier segment, you're like, what's going on with Steve? It's because every year Carolina's in the second round and that's it. Like covering the entirety of the playoffs and continuing to watch the rest of the playoffs really drives home the point that the second round is nothing. It's nothing, which means the first is less than nothing, but the second round is still nothing. Win a chip, man.